Top 10 Killer Fungi. It's common knowledge by now that some species of mushroom can be extremely tasty, while others will bring you a step closer to meeting your creator. What's not so commonly known is that out of the over 5,000 known species of mushrooms worldwide, only 20 to 25% of mushrooms have been named with proper identification, and 3% of those are poisonous. While 3% may not seem like much, it's something to keep in the back of your mind if you're going foraging for tasty mushrooms in the forest, and you may want to bring an experienced pair of eyes along for safety. To help you prepare, we've compiled a list of some of the most dangerous mushrooms, so when you encounter them, you know what to and what not to eat. Benitengudake, Amanita muscaria. Don't be fooled by their beautiful coloration. These pretty red mushrooms with sort of off-white yellowish spots all over the cap might as well spell out danger. It's the most famous mushroom in the world precisely because it's so toxic, and although people have tried everything from boiling to grilling to make it edible, it's best to simply avoid it.
What I normally do when I've finished is just drizzle some lemon juice and a pinch of salt, and they're ready to go. Bon appetit. So good.
Amanita muscaria poisoning most commonly occurs in children and adults who are looking for a mushroom trip, but sometimes people may genuinely mistake it for an edible mushroom when heavy rain washes off its white spots. The active ingredient responsible for the toxic effects of the mushroom is a psychoactive compound known as muscimol and a neurotoxin compound, ibotenic acid. A fatal dose has been calculated as 15 caps. Despite this, people rarely die from Amanita poisoning, and the most common side effects include vomiting and peeing yourself. Poison fire coral, Podostroma cornudame. You shouldn't be too surprised that a fungus known as poison fire coral is bad for you. It's the only known fungus whose toxins are absorbed through the skin, and several people in Japan and Korea have died because they mistook it for a more benign mushroom and reached out for it.
Deadly fungus, usually confined to Japan and Korea, has been discovered in a rainforest. Our scientists say poison fire coral is the only known fungus that is poisonous to touch, as its toxins can be absorbed through the skin.
If you touch or taste the poison fire coral, you're in for a world of symptoms including vomiting, diarrhea, fever, numbness, and if left untreated, could lead to multiple organ failure or brain damage leading to death. As little as 1 gram of this fungus can be deadly, so it's important to recognize it's red, long, and cylindrical with no distinct caps. No matter how well you feel after ingesting the poisonous fire coal, you still need to see a physician. This is because after 3 days or so, the symptoms will seem to clear up, but they usually reoccur in a few days and typically lead to death. Tamagotake modoki, Amanita sajanquila. This next fungus has a brownish yellow to dirty citron yellow coloration on its cap that becomes darker towards the center. Also known as the East Asian death cap, it has a stunning 12.5 mortality rate after ingestion. Death doesn't come easy either, with extreme hepatotoxicity, inflammation of the pancreas, and intravascular coagulation as adverse effects. Sciotake, Onphalotus japonicus. Although this mushroom is similar to the shiitake mushrooms, Onphalotus japonicus, commonly known as sciotake, is a poisonous fungus that grows between the months of September and October in Japan. Its toxic effects begin within an hour of consumption, and people unlucky enough to ingest this poisonous mushroom are in for hours of vomiting, nausea, and abdominal cramps. Don't be fooled by its pretty bioluminescence appearance at night. They show bioluminescence properties because inside the cells there are detoxification processes going on alongside the breakdown of antioxidants. The Japanese name Tsukiyotake translates as moon night mushroom because this is one night beauty that just might kill you. Sugihiratake, Pleurocyabella porogens. In yet another case of appearances being deceptive, this fungus has a beautiful stalkless white fan that looks like angel wings. In fact, it was so innocent and angelic that it was considered edible for a long time, with a very recent reclassification as toxic. It has been linked with encephalopathy and death in people with pre-existing kidney disorders, so you definitely want to keep a close eye out for this. Known commonly and misleadingly as the angel wing, this devilish mushroom was traditionally consumed in Japan until 2004, when 55 people were poisoned by eating the mushroom and 17 of them died of acute encephalopathy. Nowadays, there are strict governmental regulations about the consumption of this toxic morsel, and mushroom enthusiasts are warned to beware. So the next time you're in the forest and there's a mushroom nearby, don't eat it in a hurry. Don't stay foolish, don't stay hungry. Magic mushrooms, psilocybin mushrooms. We've all heard about the magic mushrooms, but did you know that up until 2002, it was legal to buy and consume them in Japan? Although it has been illegal since 2002, in 2018, researchers from Johns Hopkins University recommended reclassification of psilocybin from Schedule 1 to Schedule 4 in order to allow them for medicinal use as an effective treatment for depression and nicotine and alcohol addiction.
Found himself in a hospital room in West London being given a Class A psychedelic drug.
Often with psychedelics, emotions and difficult experiences that have been repressed because they're so uncomfortable and painful come to the surface.
Nisei Korohatsu, Rusula subnigricans. This innocent-looking mushroom is highly toxic, requiring just a small amount to kill a grown man. In Japan, a man and a woman in their 60s died after eating poisonous mushrooms they picked in a forest. According to health officials in Toyohashi, the pair ate the mushrooms in miso soup. On the next day, they started having difficulty breathing and other symptoms for hours. They were taken to a hospital where the woman died 2 days later at night and the man died 3 days later. Cause of death was multiple organ failure. Amanita smithiana. This poisonous fungus grows in late summer and fall and is typically found near coniferous trees and forests. Consuming this toxic mushroom causes vomiting, diarrhea, kidney failure, and death due to the presence of amino sugars, such as alinic norleucine toxins. In October of 2016, an adult male picked and ate a large amount of what he thought were pine mushrooms collected near Nanaimo. After 7 hours, he developed vomiting and diarrhea and was admitted to hospital, where he experienced kidney failure and required hemodialysis for several days. Talk about a fatal mistake! Amanita phalloides, death cap. This is the deadliest mushroom in the world. Appropriately called the death cap, this fungus kills within 10 days of consumption. How can you identify this toxic mushroom? Well, it has a greenish-brown cap, cup-like vulva, white gills, and a membranous skirt along its stem, and is often described as being sticky to the touch. The toxins within are 100% stable, and there is no way of removing them, and every last portion of the mushroom is deadly upon consumption, only taking one cap to kill.